Look at the screen for a second. That caption landing on the word, that cut, that graphic sliding in. Claude Code made all of it. I never opened an editor. I just told it what I wanted in plain English, and it built the whole thing in my exact style. And it looks like my videos for one reason. I gave Claude Code my brand once, took around 10 minutes, and it's remembered ever since. Normally, editing your own videos is brutal. $500 a video if you pay someone, or your whole weekend if you don't. That's usually where people stop posting. So I'll show you exactly how Claude Code did it. This same intro, start to finish. And honestly, most of it is just setup. Do it once and you don't have to touch it again. There's really only one step that matters, and it's the one almost nobody talks about. That's the only reason it looks like a real person edited it, and not AI. So let's just start with the first step. Let's start with step 1. All right, the first thing you need is Claude Code. And I want to be clear about what that actually is, because everything else in this video runs on top of it. Claude Code is Claude running on your computer rather than a browser tab. In a tab, Claude can talk about your files. On your computer, it can open them, read them, change them, and build things out of them. That is the whole difference. Now, most tutorials will send you into the terminal for this. You don't need to. Go to Google, type download Claude Code, and click the first result. And as you can see here, you land on a page like this. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and click download for Windows. Same page on Mac, different button. That's step 1. And it's downloaded. Now, once you open Claude, you're going to see two options at the top. There's Home and there's Code. Go ahead and click on Code. That's the workspace where every single thing in this video happens. And before you install anything, before you connect anything, there's one move you make first. You attach your folder. Go ahead and click on Add Folder and select the folder you're working in. Mine's called Claude, and as you can see here, once you select it, the folder loads straight into the workspace. Now, here's why that step matters. Claude can only work with what it can see. Once that folder is attached, it reads your skills, your references, your footage, your brand guide, all of it, without you pasting a single thing into a chat box. That is the whole point of running this on your computer. Now, Claude Code alone cannot render a video, so 3 more things are going in. The first one is hyperframes. That's what actually builds the video. Claude writes the scene, hyperframes turns it into real frames and renders it out. So Claude decides what happens at 4 seconds and hyperframes draws it. The second one is a transcriber. I use Whisper because it's the fastest route to this. It listens to your footage and writes down every word with the exact time it was said, down to the millisecond. So when a caption lands, it lands on the word. The third one is FFmpeg. It sits underneath everything and handles your audio. You won't think about it again. Now here's the part that surprises people. These are one-line commands and you're not opening a terminal to run them. You paste them straight into Claude Code and Claude runs them on your machine for you. So the first command goes in. npm install g hyperframes. Click enter, and it runs and installs hyperframes for us. Let's just wait for it to finish. And there it is. Hyperframes is done. Now the transcriber, same step. Pip install u faster whisper. Mine came back saying it's already installed because I'd done it earlier. Yours will run the install. And the last one is ffmpeg. Drop in the command winget install gyan.ffmpeg. Click enter and let's see what happens. Done. That's your whole stack and you never touched a terminal. You can also use a terminal to install all these, but the reason I do it this way is that Claude has direct access to your machine here. So when an install throws an error, it reads the error and fixes it itself. In a terminal, that error is your problem to solve. Everything I'm using is linked in the description. Now, there's one optional connection worth making while you're already here, and this is what handles B-roll. It's called Higgsfield, and it generates clips for you. So when a beat needs footage you don't have, you describe the shot and it makes it, instead of handing you a list of things to go and film. So to install that, go into Higgsfield and you'll see an option for MCP and CLI at the top. Go ahead and click on it, and both are sitting right there. I use the CLI one. You copy the code from here, paste it into Claude Code, and that's the connection made. Mine's already connected, so let's go ahead for now, but this is done. Now, the last setup step, and this is the one I tell you not to skip. Drop this in your chat box. Go through all the content from the Claude folder and tell me whether every single thing is installed or not. And hit enter. A missing tool is a 2-minute fix when you know about it. It costs you an hour when you find out 4 steps later, and something fails for a reason that has nothing to do with what you're actually doing. And as you can see here, it goes through Node, Hyperframes, FmpEg, all of it, and comes back telling you what's installed, what's optional, and what you don't need at all. So here's the takeaway on setup. Every piece of that happened inside one window, and that's the last time you touch it. Now, setup being done doesn't mean you're ready, because Claude can edit now and it still knows nothing about you. So let me walk you through what's actually inside that folder, because this is where the real work sits. There's the A roll, which is my raw footage. There's a visual style file of my brand. There are assets, there are references, there's a file on how the whole thing works. And there's the skill itself. Now, that last one is doing most of the heavy lifting here. So let me be clear about it. The skill is one file. You drop it into this folder, and that is the entire installation. And it's what turns Claude from something that will happily guess into something that follows a process. It's the reason it builds the style profile, reads your anchors, plans the storyboard before it touches a single frame, and stops to take approvals instead of running off and making you a whole video you never asked for. Without it, you're describing your entire workflow from scratch every time you open a chat. And inside references, I've dropped screenshots of graphics I've actually used in my videos before. These are pulled straight from my account. Fonts as well. So when it builds a card or a number pops, it's working from something that already exists. Now here's the rule. Every reference you drop in is one less thing it has to invent. That is the key. Which brings us to the 10 minutes I mentioned at the start. Here's the problem. Claude doesn't know your colors, it doesn't know your fonts, and it has no idea whether your captions sit along the bottom or across the middle. So it guesses, and what it guesses is the average of everything it has ever seen. And that is exactly why AI edits look like AI edits. Now, the fix is I'm going to ask it to read my brand guide and turn it into a style profile. And this is the exact prompt I used. Go into the folder and read the brand guide and create a complete style profile for this project. Extract the colors, typography, spacing, motion language, caption style, pacing, and sound identity into a reusable style profile and send it here. Click enter and let's see what happens. Now, if you don't have a brand guide, you're still covered. With the skill loaded, it interviews you instead. 12 questions, plain English. What are your colors? What's your headline font? Do your videos feel warm or cool, fast or slow? Where do your captions sit? And what does your music sound like? And the last one matters more than people expect. Your brand has a sound the same way it has a color. Skip it, and you'll have stock music sitting under your videos forever. I already have the guide, so I pointed it straight at the file. And as you can see here, it's given us the colors as hex codes, the typography, the spacing, the motion language, the caption style, the pacing, and the sound identity. All of it. And from here, every single thing it builds reads that file first. So that's the profile done. Claude knows my brand now, and I never explain it again. Not this video, not the next one. And if you don't want to rebuild all this from scratch, I've put the whole thing together. The skill file, the profile template, the questionnaire, the prompts, all of it. Comment the word edit and I'll send you the link. All right, one more thing before any footage goes in, and this is the step I told you about at the start, the one almost nobody talks about. Inside Assets, there's a folder called Anchors. It's empty when you install it. Now, you're going to drop 2 or 3 of your own finished scenes in there, just scenes, the ones you were actually happy with. I dropped in 2 versions of an intro I'd already made, and then you tell it what they're for. So, let's drop this into the chat box. Analyze both the intros which are in the Anchors folder and make it a baseline for this project. This is exactly how I want my animation, my graphics, to pop in according to the script in the intro. Use this as reference to understand the style I will drop in the arrow later. Click enter and let's wait for it to finish. And look what it comes back with. It watched both of them, and it's telling me every graphic lands on its word, and the pop-in mechanic gets chosen by what the script is doing at that moment. Now, do you see the difference here? That's my own standard, read off my own work, and written back to me in its own words. The profile gave it my colours. The anchors gave it my bar. Now, some of you are watching this thinking, you don't have a style yet. That's fine. You're not stuck. Anchors don't have to be your own footage. You can go and find motion graphic work that you actually like. It could be a creator whose captions you've always wanted to replicate. It could be a video where the text lands exactly the way you want yours to land. And Pinterest is one of the places I always go to for references. So find the images or boards you like, and then you drop those in instead. Claude reads them the same way, so now it's working towards something you picked yourself. And if you'd rather leave that folder empty for now, that works too. The whole thing still runs. You come back and fill it after your first good one. Now let's put the footage in. Drop your A-roll into the chat box, and I'm dropping the script alongside it. You don't need to because the transcriber reads every word off the footage anyway. I am doing it for control. And then I brief it the way I'd brief an editor. Here is the A-roll I want you to edit. And I'm also going to drop in the script for a reference so that you know what to edit. I want exactly how the reference is working. So if I say that a graphic is landing, it should land at the exact time. That is what my basic requirement is with this edit. Click enter, let's see what happens. Now, this next part is the one I'd protect if you cut everything else out of this video. It doesn't start building, it plans first. It comes back with a storyboard. Every line of the script mapped to what's on screen at that moment. And then it stops and it asks questions. One is the Claude Code interface. When that's on screen, do I want a real recording, a screencast, or should it represent that as motion graphics? I'm going with motion graphics. The second is the accent the graphics should run on, brand accent. And the third one is about placement, so I'm telling it to put graphics wherever they're required. Now, here's why that order matters. It's asking before it builds. Changing a storyboard costs you 1 sentence. Changing a scene that's already built costs you a rebuild. So I read the whole storyboard before I approved it, and then dropped this into the chat box. Approved, but make sure the edit is in sync with the script. Click enter and we'll wait for it to finish. Now this is where it stops being a chat and starts being an editor. It writes every scene from scratch for that specific beat, in my colours, timed to my words. There's no template folder in here for it to pull from. And the first thing it hands back is 1 section. So let's play it. That caption landing on the word. That cut, that graphic sliding in, Claude Code made all of it. That's the intro. And it's in sync, the graphics are landing where they're supposed to. I like how it made that. So now I approve it, and I tell it to go and build the rest. Approved, build the whole intro. Now, that gate is deliberate. The skill is built to hand you the first clip and then stop. So if the look is wrong, you say so and it reworks 1 section instead of a finished video. You're finding that out at 30 seconds instead of at the end of a full render. Then it builds a full contact sheet. Every frame of the whole video laid out in one grid so you can see the entire thing at a glance before it renders a single second. And it checks its own frames because an automated check can tell you something is broken. It can't tell you a headline is sitting across your face. That happened on this video at about 6 seconds. It caught it, moved it, and told me what it changed. And then it renders. This is the part where you actually sit and wait. So let's go ahead and let it finish. And that's your file. Look at the screen for a second. That caption landing on the word, that cut, that graphic sliding in. Claude Code made all of it. I never opened an editor. I just told it what I wanted in plain English, and it built the whole thing in my exact style. And it looks like my videos for one reason. I gave Claude Code my brand once, took around 10 minutes, and it's remembered ever since. Normally, editing your own videos is brutal. $500 a video if you pay someone, or your whole weekend if you don't. That's usually where people stop posting. So I'll show you exactly how Claude Code did it. This same intro, start to finish. And honestly, most of it is just set up. Do it once and you don't have to touch it again. There's really only one step that matters, and it's the one almost nobody talks about. That's the only reason it looks like a real person edited it, and not AI. So let's just start with the first step. Now, here's the part that makes all of that setup worth it. You just did this once. The stack, the folder, the style profile, the anchors, none of that gets rebuilt. It sits there. So next time you drop your footage into the folder and you tell Claude to run the skill, that's it. It already knows your colors, your type, your pacing, and your bar, so it goes straight to the storyboard. Now here's the real takeaway. Everybody sets up the tools. Almost nobody sets the anchors. And that is exactly why most AI edits still look like AI edits. There's nothing in the system telling the model what good looks like for you. The profile teaches it your colors. The anchors teach it your standard. Do both and it stops being a tool that edits video. It becomes an editor that already knows how you work. That's the move. Comment the word edit and I'll send you the link to the whole system.